In 2008, a U.S. Air Force pilot chased a UFO across the Texas sky and watched it crash near Del Rio. The wreckage vanished overnight, and the truth was buried deep. But that was only one of many UFO crash sites the government doesn't want you to know about. Let's uncover them.
We spotted a bright light, and I mentioned it to the B-47 pilot of our close communications equipment, and he's seen it also. Well, it kind of looked like, at first, like a star does, except it was closer. It's a real bright light. There was a little amber-looking color in it there once, or I thought it was, because I didn't take my eye off of it. It was just a very bright, and I'd say before it made the 90-degree turn, it would look like it was that big to me right there, but there's no telling, it might have been 40 miles back over somewhere, or 80. It was coming, looked like straight toward us, and all at once it made a 90-degree turn and started losing altitude. And I mentioned that to the B-47 pilot, and he said, yeah, I seen that. And I said, well, I'd like to go see where it's going to hit down there. And he said, well, wait a minute, let me call Fort Worth. So he called headquarters over there at the Fort Worth field we stayed at. And they said, yeah, he'd go, but they'd send one to take my place or just go on like it was still there. So I flew down there to see where it's hit. Well, right where it hit the first time looked to me like it, you know how you throw a ball or something and it'll hit, but it'll bounce. I figured this near bounce looked like 200 feet out there further down the road before it began to fall apart, I guess. It just looked like somebody took a aluminum building and cut it up into little pieces and scattered it down there.
The video titled "Former U.S. Air Force Pilot Saw UFO Crash" tells the chilling and thought-provoking account of an ex-U.S. Air Force pilot who claimed to have chased an unidentified flying object across the Texas skies, only to watch it crash near Del Rio, Texas, close to the Texas-Mexico border. For decades, stories like this have stirred the imagination. But when a trained military pilot comes forward, it hits differently. These are not random sky watchers or conspiracy theorists. These are disciplined professionals, familiar with every known aircraft in the sky. When such a person says, "I saw something that defied explanation," the world listens. The pilot's account describes a sleek metallic craft moving at impossible speeds, executing turns no human aircraft could survive. As he pursued it, the object reportedly began to lose altitude, finally crashing in a remote desert area. What happened next remains wrapped in mystery. Some say a recovery team quietly took the wreckage away. Others insist the event was buried beneath layers of military secrecy. But beyond speculation, this story taps into something deeper: our endless curiosity about the unknown. From Roswell to Phoenix Lights, sightings like these remind us how little we truly understand about the cosmos. Whether these objects are extraterrestrial visitors, advanced human technology, or something stranger still, they invite us to keep questioning. The Del Rio incident, as retold by Noe Torres, isn't just about a crash, it's about a confrontation with mystery itself. Maybe, just maybe, that night in Texas gave us a fleeting glimpse of a truth far bigger than our planet. Mars resident you have likely heard those wild speculations suggesting NASA is concealing major secrets, correct? This newly surfaced footage could be the startling revelation everyone has anticipated. It displays something that certainly causes suspicion: a potential extraterrestrial walking nonchalantly on the moon as if it were completely normal. The internet is currently filled with inquiries. Might this video be authentic? If it is, does this imply NASA has been concealing encounters with aliens this entire time?
That is, son of a gun, down the floor.
The footage possesses strong connections to the peculiar things astronauts, such as the Apollo 11 team, have described, including unusual lights and different inexplicable occurrences. UFOs home. You have likely questioned where UFOs conceal themselves or reside on Earth, haven't you? This video footage may hold the solution. An individual hiking successfully recorded some unusual activity close to a cavern. The sight left him utterly shocked.
The government are trying to hide this.
He videotaped a UFO coming out of the cave. We might as well refer to it as its concealed residence. Following that, the UFO departed, stealing away from its clandestine location. This is the point where it becomes intriguing.
I've managed to get up to here where you can't be seen.
The hiker never revealed the coordinates. Was he compelled to maintain silence, or did he make that decision himself? The reality concerning aliens is certainly becoming more unnerving with every passing moment. I am unsure about your feelings, but this situation genuinely makes me anxious. Warning from beyond. In 2017, an event occurred that seemed taken directly from a science fiction film. Government authorities were left utterly astonished when an extraterrestrial being materialized, asserting it was a human descendant from a future time. The government swiftly apprehended it and relocated it to a clandestine facility for interrogation.
Say you're from the future and an evolutionary descendant of humans.
The being clarified that it descended from human predecessors, but had undergone such significant evolution that it was no longer capable of reproducing with humans. It also communicated in English. Furthermore, it issued a caution regarding an impending extraterrestrial attack. Might this mark the start of a reality we are unprepared to face? Only the future will reveal the answer. Twin Towers UFO. This video, which surfaced recently, reveals something the majority of people are not intended to witness.
What is that?
Journalists traveling by helicopter close to the World Trade Center observed something genuinely strange. One reporter noticed a dark object suspended in the air behind the towers. The moment she indicated it, the object disappeared instantly, leaving the journalists in total disbelief. They were instructed to maintain silence, but with the footage having now emerged, it has caused me to wonder. Could this serve as evidence of extraterrestrial participation in the unusual occurrences associated with the World Trade Center? Frankly, it is a disturbing possibility, one that cannot be disregarded. Hologram. This is certainly among the most peculiar sights I have witnessed recently. A man succeeded in recording an image that appeared as if it originated directly from Stranger Things. It was an odd light display in the heavens, featuring rays of light slicing through the cloud cover. To be honest, it appeared incredibly artificial, similar to something anticipated in a science fiction film. The clouds themselves also seemed quite unusual. So, what is everyone's opinion? I am inclined to believe it is associated with the Blue Beam Project. Some individuals on the internet are asserting the same thing. Others believe it is simply a holographic projection. Nobody is certain of the truth. Regardless of its nature, it is assuredly not a common daily sight. Rooftop surprise. On July 3, 2009, some friends socializing on a roof in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, observed something inexplicable. While they were talking, an unusual object materialized in the sky, maneuvering in a manner unlike any aircraft or satellite.
Here's this.
Alright, there it is. I got it on camera.
Oh my God.
One of the friends seized a camera, and their recording was astounding. A luminous UFO speeding through the sky in unpredictable ways before it abruptly vanished. The video spread rapidly online, causing widespread speculation. Was it advanced military technology, a classified government undertaking, or something much more bizarre? That rooftop experience turned into a memorable one, as they recorded something totally unexplainable.
Can you zoom yours? Here's this.
Alright, there it is. I got it on camera.
Oh my God.
Fleeting UFO. Amid Fleet Week, a peculiar event occurred that took everyone by surprise. As jets maneuvered at high velocities, an unknown object sped past them instantly. It briefly went unseen by all but a single keen onlooker. And something just flew by these military planes. What was that? Taking into account the rapid speed of the jets, this object must have been traveling at double their speed, perhaps even faster. More peculiar still, it was moving contrary to the wind's direction. This is certainly not a typical occurrence in our skies.
And something just flew by these military planes. What was that?
Cigar-shaped UFO. A traveler recorded video of a UFO when its reflection captured their notice. And what is visible? It appears precisely like an enormous cigar. It then abruptly changed its location, and upon moving nearer, it appeared to become translucent. How can that be explained? I am quite certain our government has not determined a way to duplicate an effect like this. Then, as rapidly as it materialized, the object vanishes from sight. It is unfortunate that we are unable to obtain any explanations. 1994. Mystery. Near the North Carolina coastline, some sailors received the shock of their lifetimes upon spotting a fiery object far away. Initially, they presumed it was an illuminated vessel, but the subsequent event was more bizarre. The brilliant object unexpectedly fragmented and dispersed into spheres. The sailors were astonished to find themselves encircled by almost 30 UFOs. The situation was frightening, and the recording stopped suddenly, making me wonder about the aftermath. Nobody is certain, but it is evident that this experience left them thoroughly terrified. Indiana UFO mystery. A new observation close to an Indiana Air Force base has left observers totally astonished. In the late hours, a formation of unidentified luminous UFOs was seen speeding through the sky at great velocities.
Daddy, you see them?
I know.
The UFOs materialized in a specific arrangement, twinkling as they traveled rapidly over the base, shocking all witnesses. A group of people soon assembled, but before any response was possible, the objects disappeared far away. Lacking any official clarification from authorities, this occurrence has intensified speculation about UFOs. Observers were bewildered. Some labeled the peculiar lights as an innovative military technology, whereas others felt they were witnessing something extraterrestrial. Frankly, the latter group might be correct. Seeing red. In 2023, an amazing event transpired in Brazil. The atmosphere became a vivid red, and an unusual object remained stationary above, causing residents to feel bewildered and alarmed. They had never witnessed anything comparable previously. It did not resemble an aircraft or any recognizable object, and it was discharging incandescent spheres into its surroundings. Every person who saw it instantly believed it might be a UFO. A few even questioned if it intended to descend to their vicinity. The facts regarding that day's events remain unresolved, but it certainly sparked conversations about the potential for extraterrestrials. Crash site a hiker was trekking through the forest anticipating a standard quiet day, but his discovery was far from ordinary. He came across what he believed to be the location of a UFO accident. At that spot, he found a broken vessel and circling it were small, human-like beings. Aliens. A few looked injured, while others seemed to be unconscious. He could not accept what he was seeing. This video segment rapidly circulated on the internet, and proponents of UFOs were certain it depicted an actual UFO accident. The even more bizarre fact is that no other individuals reported unusual activity in that location. Were people instructed to remain silent, or is a more shocking secret being kept from us? An odd rod-shaped UFO was observed suspended over a nuclear plant, appearing as if it were from a story. Surveillance video captured it descending and seizing an enigmatic container, one that appeared extremely significant. Perhaps it held a clandestine fluid or technology. It is impossible to be certain. Immediately after the UFO sped away with the container, its upper section illuminated, and an object launched skyward at incredible velocity. Its ability to halt and remain stationary indicated it was not merely an arbitrary flying object. This craft appeared to be concealing something, maybe a classified item the facility wished to keep contained. What did that container hold? Frankly, the incident left me pondering numerous questions. Aliens hideout. A person fishing was experiencing a difficult day, finding it hard to catch anything substantial. However, the sight he observed surpassed all expectations. He detected peculiar noises originating from the sky, prompting him to retrieve his phone to film. To his astonishment, he observed 4 UFOs, not just one, speeding away from what looked like a concealed location, vanishing skyward almost instantly. His frustration about the poor fishing rapidly changed to wonder upon realizing he had encountered something far more significant, a possible extraterrestrial hiding place. Nonetheless, subsequent to posting the video, he was made to be quiet. And the facts. California Northern Lights. A man lately recorded an unusual phenomenon in the skies over California, a vibrant exhibition strongly resembling the aurora borealis.
Look, the sky basically changing colors right now, yo. What the f is going on?
I understand your likely thought. How can the northern lights be visible in California? Well, observe the video and decide for yourself.
Look, it's purple now. It's changing colors, but it's purple.
The lights in the sky appear quite similar to the aurora. However, if they are not, what alternative explanation exists? Could it be extraterrestrial in origin? It is certainly related to alien activity, or perhaps it is just an uncommon natural event. In any case, it has captured all of our interest. Flickering Brazil. In the previous year, the sky above Brazil captured widespread notice when an odd object displaying twinkling lights materialized unexpectedly. Observers rapidly understood it was not a standard aircraft. The object's form by itself implied it could be of extraterrestrial origin. Residents proposed their own explanations. Some speculated it might be a winged angel, whereas others felt certain it was a UFO. Having reviewed the video, I must concur that it genuinely appears otherworldly. Its manner of hovering and the peculiar lights are difficult to account for, rendering this observation among the most fascinating ones we have encountered. Monolith. Some friends opted to embark on a major journey, traveling non-stop for 15 hours through the desert. They had a single objective: to view the enigmatic steel monolith that had unexpectedly materialized in Utah.
It's interesting how it comes right. It's right at.
That's just wild.
It's interesting how it comes. It appeared identical to the one featured in 2001, A Space Odyssey. That similarity is not even the shocking part, folks. The true surprise was the monolith's complete and sudden disappearance. What became of it, and what caused its abrupt vanishing? These inquiries remain unresolved, reinforcing my belief in the existence of extraterrestrials. Hiding truth here is evidence indicating the government is attempting to conceal information about UFOs from the public. Late in the evening, a man recorded some unusual activity. He observed vehicles traversing a secluded forest, potentially transporting a UFO, perhaps to Area 51. The man acted swiftly to film it and post the video on the internet. However, the frightening reality is that following his upload, he disappeared, and his whereabouts are unknown. I am not sure what you think, but it appears plausible that posting that video is the cause of his disappearance. Missing debris in woods. One evening, a man witnessed an odd flash in the sky and detected a loud explosion originating from the woods, so he proceeded to investigate. He located a sizable metallic object embedded in the ground, resembling a fragment of a wrecked spacecraft. While he was attempting to understand it, he perceived rustling sounds behind him. Upon turning, he observed a peculiar white entity gazing at him. The man attempted to pursue it, but it vanished into the shadowed, thick woods. The following day, upon his return, the metallic object had vanished entirely. This left him questioning whether he had fabricated the entire incident. Rotating anomaly. In April 2024, a Hungarian astronomer recorded a strange object at an altitude of 10,000 feet, which instantly garnered notice. The object seemed to be spinning, and its most prominent feature was the multicolored lights it flashed across the sky. Given its peculiar motion and look, many are labeling it a UFO. The video rapidly circulated online, sparking debates among UFO proponents and specialists. Whether it represents an unknown type of aircraft or an extraterrestrial object remains a topic of discussion. However, it is undeniable that this sighting fits squarely within the classification of unidentified flying objects. Recovering alien. This video purportedly displays an extraterrestrial recuperating after months of confinement. Its peculiar, convulsive motions suggest it was confined to a small area, or perhaps it is attempting to understand human locomotion. Some individuals theorize the alien was ultimately returned to its planet of origin. Because this video appears quite dated, it is probable the alien is currently elsewhere, likely residing on a faraway world. Flight 370. In 2014, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 disappeared while en route to Beijing, and nobody has succeeded in explaining the event. Despite prolonged search efforts, the puzzle is still unresolved. However, some unusual video surfaced that depicted the aircraft in flight as multiple strange spheres sped past its rear. Then, instantaneously, the aircraft vanished into the clouds. This has caused speculation that extraterrestrials might be responsible for the plane's vanishing, and after seeing this, I share that conviction. Burning balls. Now, that is a truly uncommon sight. While trekking in a mountainous region, a traveler encountered something so peculiar he had to look twice. Descending the mountain, he observed what appeared to be 3 incandescent spheres in the sky. Initially, he mistook them for suns, but 3 suns over Earth is simply absurd, correct? Upon closer inspection, the man grew certain these were not merely unusual atmospheric events. No, they were UFOs, potentially assembling for a specific purpose. Peruvian shock. In 2008, an inexplicable event occurred in Peru. A UFO was said to have crashed, and residents hurried to the location, expecting to witness something remarkable. However, upon arrival, they found only an empty, desolate area. It seemed as though the UFO and its contents had disappeared completely. Subsequently, the situation became even more bizarre. Several weeks later, an extraterrestrial corpse was purportedly discovered in a concealed room near the impact site. Narratives imply the alien attempted to flee, but was apprehended, transported to a clandestine installation, and ultimately perished. Although the alien's location is still unknown, leaked video keeps this unsettling incident in public discussion. Flying alien. Several weeks prior, an unattributed video emerged depicting an object suspended in the air. Initially, I presumed it could be a fractured rocket component or wreckage. However, continued observation suggested it resembled a person, only it was levitating. This, naturally, is an ability none of us possess. Some individuals speculate it might be an extraterrestrial or possibly a superhuman capable of flying. Regardless, it is certainly not something I anticipated witnessing. F-22. Capture. During a flight above Alaska, an F-22 aviator observed an unusual object moving directly toward his aircraft. Reacting quickly, he recorded the event as it sped by. It was evident this was a UFO, traveling many thousands of feet over the planet. The pilot was astonished by what he had just observed. It is an incident that the pilot, and now all of us, will not easily forget. Mystical encounter. The group assembled on a Turkish beach was incredulous when, as the sky vibrated, an amazing sight materialized. A luminous entity suspended above the ocean. Observers speculated it resembled an angel, which ignited wonder and enthusiasm. Everyone rushed to use their phones, but prior to anyone capturing a distinct image, the entity spread its wings and ascended. It vanished into a break in the clouds, leaving all observers astounded. Many theorize this opening was not coincidental, but was, in fact, an exit portal created just for it. Regardless of its identity, nobody has successfully explained the phenomenon to this day. Wild UFO. This specific UFO observation is extraordinary. Seen in the United States, it featured a luminous ring encompassing a central cube, which was perhaps an extraterrestrial control center. It also emitted light flashes, possibly as a form of signaling or communication. Following its journey, it landed, leaving residents perplexed about the situation. But folks, this is where the actual puzzle begins. What is the reason for the government's silence on this matter? Are they concealing information, or is a larger situation unfolding? It seems there is a significant amount of information they prefer we remain unaware of. This observation merely contributes to the expanding catalog of unresolved inquiries. Flying mysteries. On May 27, 2023, a peculiar video originating from Melbourne, Australia, recorded a genuinely strange aerial phenomenon. Large items, some looking like wreckage and others appearing as human-like shapes, were observed drifting through the atmosphere. When they neared tall structures, they avoided collision or cessation, instead navigating skillfully around them before resuming their initial arrangement. This unusual conduct continues to baffle both residents and specialists. While some propose that electromagnetic forces might be affecting these enigmatic objects, causing them to behave like extraterrestrial fragments, the reason remains unidentified to this day. Roswell truth. The occurrence at Roswell generated intense discussion, but this recently surfaced military video elevates the situation significantly. Recorded in 1947, it depicts military personnel investigating a wreckage site close to Corona. They located a downed UFO, or at least it had that appearance. There was no indication of extraterrestrials, however, which paradoxically made the scene more unsettling. Then, precisely when the puzzle seemed resolved, the government announced, "Relax, it's just a balloon." Yet, this video presents a markedly different narrative. Consequently, I am now compelled to ask why the government is so determined to conceal the facts. Alternatively, perhaps they are merely attempting to prevent the pandemonium that would erupt if the facts were ever revealed. Alien portal. We are all aware that extraterrestrials do not journey in the same manner as humans. They appear to possess teleportation capabilities. A video emerged not long ago that depicted a UFO approaching a luminous white gateway in the sky. Upon passing into the portal, it vanished before the onlookers' very eyes. This recording suggests a startling fact. UFOs are not merely traveling to Earth. They are utilizing these gateways to teleport to this location, accomplish their objectives, and subsequently disappear. This is frankly somewhat frightening, as it reveals the true extent of the advancement and potential volatility of these alien beings. So, were these accidents, cover-ups, or encounters from beyond our world? One thing's clear: the sky's secrets are far from over. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden UFO mysteries.